important to get the farming right and the profitability side of things and the business side of things. So that's basically monitoring all your costs, especially at the moment when you've got a drought feeding them. You've got to weigh up the cost of feed and so forth and moving forward. So the way farming is now, you have to be pretty onto it to where your costs are, where your time goes, and looking after all your people. I found that exceptionally good because I'd done the diploma whilst I was running my farm. So I mean, I didn't do it before I started going share milking. I did it during share milking. So when I was doing my accounts, I was running my accounts and I was implementing it at the same time, or learning what I learned from the diploma and using it straight away in my business. So we were learning our budget. So instead of doing a budget for someone else's farm, I was able to do my own budgets and do the own analysis on my farm at the same time. So all that sort of stuff, as I sort of grew my business, and later on I started this other job and sort of consulting as well. You're sort of learning about soil management and all those sort of different aspects of farming too, which you sort of don't really pick up as a share milker sometimes. Oh, it's been huge. Especially, I must admit, the financial side of things has probably been the biggest growth in my business. Learning how to monitor my financial records, your financials, and growing that. And monitoring it, and also in respect to the bank, knowing what the accountant's talking about when he tells me at the end of the year what's going on. Do my own GST, analyse my accounts every year. All that sort of stuff has helped me grow my business and know where I'm at to my further growth. So I employ two I see on this farm, and I've got a contract milker on another farm and he employs another worker as well. So basically it's taught me about how to look after my staff, especially when I was in share milking 180 cows. There was also a big thing of applying for those bigger jobs, you need staff management. So this gave me sort of the experience and the know-how to treat my staff and look after them, and the legal requirements of that sort of stuff. And basically now as well, bringing them through AGITOs, doing exactly the same thing with them now too, and training them up for their next big steps. I look back now and I'm extremely glad I'd done it, and sometimes I sort of felt like I should have shrugged it off and given up, but I'm glad to this day that I carried on and done it and got the job done. And at the end of it, when I done my property report, it was quite neat to be able to put that whole thing together and use all the information I learned and put it towards that as well. Top three things would probably be, financial analyse and accounts is probably the top one, return on asset, return on equity, all those sort of things. And going further from that, of course, sensitivity analysis and all that sort of stuff, and analysing my business, all those aspects. Probably labour management is probably also a top one up there too, knowing what is required me for my staff, so forth, and where I stand. Another one, I suppose, soil and fertiliser management is probably another aspect of it too. That's probably something I never really knew much of. Like I said, growing up through as a worker, you never really was taught that, and I jumped straight into share milking quite a drastic step. So all that sort of stuff was taught to me, and how to manage the soils and putting on the right fertilisers and so forth. I think you've got to learn it from two different aspects. So if you're hearing it on the classroom and then implementing it on the farm, and I think that's pretty crucial.